Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to welcome you onto my channel, I'm Vanessa Samaina and welcome to the fam. So you guys know that I create weekly predictions to prepare you for your upcoming week, and today's reading is another one of those. So in order to help you be as prepared as you can be for your upcoming week, I have prepared 4 groups that you may choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. So regarding the 4 groups, we have the orange calcite, we have the smoky quartz, we have the tiger eye, as well as the diopside. And if you feel like you need a minute to meditate on the 4 groups, then feel free to pause the video right here in order to do so. And I just want to put a little disclaimer out there for any of you who are new. You can in fact feel drawn to multiple crystals. So if that is the case for you, then feel free to tune into multiple readings, because some weeks you may feel like you need a little bit more guidance and insight than during other weeks, and that is completely fine. So you guys, today is going to be another really interactive and intuitive reading. I have my Kuan Yin Oracle, my animal spirits, as well as my unicorn oracle. So this is going to be a really fun reading. So yeah, guys, let's get started on the readings. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the orange calcite. So group number 1, the orange calcite is a stone that is very vibrant, that kind of shows a streak in you that is willing to get out there and conquer the world. But let's figure out exactly what is going on in your upcoming week. So first and foremost, we have the pig spirit. So I want you to know that next week it is so important for you to think on your feet and to use your mind very wisely. The pig spirit is a card where it just shows that intelligence is going to be what is asked of you in the upcoming week. And I want you to make sure that you inform yourself about whatever you need to inform yourself about. So if, for instance, you have very important financial documents to hand in, make sure that you look into it beforehand. Don't do things last minute. Don't procrastinate important tasks that may require a lot of brain function from you, if you will. So moving further into reading, we have the fox spirit. So I literally just mentioned to you to think on your feet, and the fox spirit is showing us that that is something that you need to do again. So I just noticed that you cannot see the cards in this part of the viewfinder. That is rearranged for you, group number 1. So moving further into your reading, it's definitely very important for you to stay acting quickly, but also thinking quickly. So if you know that you need to research a little more for your upcoming exam or something that you have to do at work, make sure that you don't tell yourself that you'll do it later, and that you don't tell yourself that, oh, you know, I'll just kind of like go with the flow. This is not a go with the flow situation next week. This is not a go with the flow week. You have to put in time, dedication, and work to learn in the upcoming week. Then in the dog spirit, I see that you have to be loyal to your friends, your family, the people who have always been there for you. I feel like one of them may be in need next week. One of them may require extra attention, and I want you to be there, unconditionally loving, and in a way where you're willing to share your time, your resources, and to help them out where you can. And make sure that you look out for that, because many people don't like asking for help. You may be one of those types of people, and the person who needs you next week may be the same. They may not like to ask for help or for anything really. So look out for those who need your help, and make sure that you stay loyal, that you stay by their side during this tough time. You know what I'm saying? Then in the bee spirit, I see that, as I mentioned, you have to learn, you have to think on your feet, but I also see that sweet results await by the end of next week. I see that it's going to be, you're going to be rewarded for the fact that you've put in time to learn new things, for the fact that you've allowed yourself to put in the work required to then gain something better in the long run. So make sure that you keep your eye on the prize. That is one of the things that I see is very important for you, group number 1. And don't allow anybody to sort of distract you. So if love is something distracting right now, make sure that you put love aside next week, because next week is an important week when it comes to your work, when it comes to what you do for a living that takes up a big part of your day. So as I said, it could be work, it could be school, whatever it is that your duty is. That is what I want you to focus on next week. So moving further into reading in the Maiden Magoo, I want you to allow things to sort of blossom in their own time. So you know how plants, depending on where they are, they either grow quicker, they either blossom more or less. And the same goes for you and your life. And I want you to know that depending on where you hang out, what you eat, the people that you surround yourself with, that is how well you're going to blossom. That is how well you're going to be able to grow and to thrive. So that could be either a lot of thriving or it could be a little less thriving, depending on your surroundings. I want you to take a look at your surroundings next week. There may be a false friend there. There may be an unhelpful wannabe fertilizer that is in your soil that is actually just killing you. You know, just like things can kill plants if the soil is affected. So look into that, okay? But I don't want you to be too worried, group number one. It's just like a little something that I feel like maybe you can tweak. Then in Weave the Future Golden, I see that you have to, as I said, make sure that you put in the work in order to have these sweet results. But I see as a whole that next week is a week where you have a lot of control over your life and the things that happen in your life. And I want you to take advantage of that. In Weave the Future Golden, I see that you are capable next week of creating a golden future, of creating a prosperous future. There are decisions and things that can be done next week to get you further ahead than during other weeks. So it is an important week for you, group number one. And I want you to make sure that you make the best of the opportunity. And in strength, I see that it's going to be challenging, but at the end of the day, it is going to make you stronger. So make sure that you keep in mind that there is always another side. There is always gifts in every situation, and that is how I want you to look at it. So don't look at a big pile of work or commitments next week as a chore. Look at it as a gift. Look at it as you being able to gain knowledge as well as experience from any of these challenges within your life, because looking at it that way will just give you so much more strength and motivation to get through the week than if you see everything as a burden. Then last but not least, we have innocence. So I want you to take time also to be like you, very innocent. Take time to play, to be joyful, and to nurture your inner child. I want you to remember what it was like to laugh about the little things, to be fascinated about the little things. Well, next week is a serious week for you when it comes to work. You also need to take that time where you're doing the complete opposite, where you're having fun, where you're being like childish almost, and just not taking life too seriously, because there is a danger to fall into this pit of just work, 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 and taking everything way seriously when life is also about enjoyment and being in the moment. And sometimes when we're very focused on building our dream life, we can forget what's happening right here is just as important. So group number one, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. If you did, please let me know down in the comment section, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number two, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Smoky Quartz. So group number two, the Smoky Quartz is a very purifying stone. You may have chosen this stone because purification is something that you need, a detox. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what's coming up for you in your next week. So first and foremost, we have the Buffalo Spirit. So in the Buffalo Spirit, I see completion. We have the number 10. So the universe wants you to know that it is abundant and that it can provide, because sometimes I see that you may have the tendency to fall into this spiral of thinking that everything is really scarce, thinking that your time is super scarce, your love, or just love in the world in general, and also money, resources. I mean, certain resources are scarce, but you have to remember that the universe will provide you with abundant opportunities, with an abundance of different paths that you can go down to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. So while the resources themselves may be scarce to some degree, the fact that you can achieve and accomplish things using those resources or to gain those resources, the amount of possibility is not scarce. And that is one thing that I see that is really important for you to know. Then in the Owl Spirit, I see that you see things very clearly now, and something is going to come to light where you were missing a piece of information. So maybe you needed to find out how somebody felt about you, or maybe you had to find out if you passed an exam, or if you've made it to, stay at this job place, whether your probation has gone well. And I see that you will get that answer, whether it's a good answer or not good, but whether it's an answer that is favorable for your current situation or that you're not happy with is not yet clear, but let's move further into your reading to figure that out. In the Beaver spirit, I see that it's going to give you a more solid foundation. So it is definitely going to solidify where you're going. So if, for instance, you had probation at work, or you had a really difficult exam, maybe you've been feeling all along like this is not what you want to study, or you would rather be in the workplace than studying, and not passing an exam may solidify your thoughts of getting into the workplace instead of continuing your studies. While at the same time, you passing may solidify your feelings about continuing on with school or your work, whatever it is that you're doing. So see this information that is being revealed as a way for you to know what path you should continue going down. You guys get what I mean. You guys always get what I mean. Then in the Elephant spirit, I want you to allow yourself to learn from the past in this very emotional time. So you waiting for extra information, you hoping that you will get this answer, you will get this feeling of what is going on in your life and what is right for you. I see that that may make you really anxious, that may stir up a lot of feelings of anxiety within you. And in the Elephant spirit, I want you to learn from these situations that have been similar or have maybe now repeated themselves. So if in the past you've already been waiting for this exam outcome, or you've been waiting to figure out if you got the job, if you're getting the promotion, and you were really anxious, you couldn't sleep, you couldn't really relax, you couldn't enjoy life, I want you to use that as a lesson. I want you to now figure out how you are going to make yourself feel more at peace when these situations arise, because you should not see it as the norm that each time you're waiting for extra information that you go completely nuts, that your anxiety spirals through the door, and that you're actually getting physical reactions to your anxiety. A lot of us struggle with like acne, a lot of us struggle with irregular bathroom schedules, if you will. A lot of us struggle with losing appetite or overeating whenever we go through stressful situations like this. But if you prepare yourself during a time where you're calm for the event of these stressful situations, then you will be able to properly manage them when they arise. And that is one thing that I see in the Elephant spirit that you may have to do. So I hope it's not going to be too far down your sort of anxiety road as to where you can't do anything anymore. I really hope that it's still going to be during a time where you're not too anxious to make a change within your pattern. And then we have the dance unveiling. So as I said, something is going to be unveiled, something is going to come to light that you needed, this piece of information, and I want you to just allow it to happen when it happens. Don't try and push for an earlier unveiling, and don't try and procrastinate it, because oftentimes when there's something important that we need to hear of, or there's something important in our lives that we're waiting for in an unveiling and a reveal, we can try and like push it along quicker. But in this instance, it's for you to just stay calm and just allow the divine to reveal whatever message it is that you need that will change your life. Then we have the gates of heaven. So compassion is one thing that I need you to have next week, okay? Somebody may rub you the wrong way, and I want you to know that you have to sort of let it slide. You have to be cool about it. In the gates of heaven, it is very clear, we all come to a time when karma will do its thing. And even if somebody did something to you, I don't want you to retaliate, and I don't want you to do just like the same back or worse. It doesn't matter who started. Putting out negative energy and negative behavior or malicious behavior is going to come back. So if you find yourself doing that. Maybe it's something you don't even notice. Maybe you use a little bit of a harsher tone with somebody when they've rubbed you the wrong way without even noticing. It could be something as little as that. Or if you see somebody around you wanting to get back at somebody, try and influence it to a different direction. Try and steer the wheel a different way, a different route, and remember that you don't want to hurt your karma just because somebody hurt you. That is one thing that I want you to keep sacred and that I want you to take really good care of. Then in growth, I see that next week is a time where you can grow personally, and I definitely feel like it has a lot to do with the gates of heaven. You have to take these steps to grow. You have to take these steps to sometimes just be the bigger person, even if you don't want to. And you have to be willing to learn from those who have mastered that. So if you have, for instance, a parent or a grandparent or a friend who is totally cool about everything in any situation, unbothered, try and learn from them, try and speak to them if you're somebody who often gets in their feelings about different things and just cannot seem to let it go. That is something that I totally get, group number 2. Then last but not least, in compassion, I want you to be gentle. I want you to forgive. Compassion is all about forgiveness and understanding. And in the gates of heaven, I want you to know that compassion is understanding that each human being, each living being has its own way that it wants to lead its life. It has its own definition of a successful life. And if you're allowed to follow through with your definition of a successful life, then you have to be compassionate to the fact that somebody else's ideology about life may be completely different from yours. But compassion is just allowing other living beings to live life according to their expectations, their current wants and needs, and trying to be understanding to their situation. So group number 2, I see a very sort of peaceful side of you surfacing next week, even though there is a tendency for anxiety when it comes to reveals of information that have a lot of weight in your life. I see you as a person having growth. I see you growing when it comes to compassion and when it comes to just maturity. So it is an amazing and beautiful week for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading, group number 2. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe for more readings, and I will see you in my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Tiger Eye, group number 3. So the Tiger Eye is a stone that allows you to be more in control, that allows you to truly figure out what can get you grounded and what can get you in a good headspace. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what's going on in your upcoming week. So first and foremost, we have the Whale Spirit. So I want you to trust in the things that cannot be explained. So next week, there may be a situation that comes up where you, for instance, get a phone call from somebody and it's weird. You're like, how did they know that I was thinking about them? Or you get a text and you're like, I was just about to text you. For instance, a situation where you find something that you thought you had lost, but somehow it resurfaces and you're like, wow, this is weird. I thought I threw this away. I thought I didn't have this anymore. So just mysterious little occurrences happening in your upcoming week that are unexplainable, that you just have to trust in the universe wanting the best for you and in the fact that your life is in good hands. But let's move further into your reading. Then in the Porcupine Spirit, I see that you need to give things sort of like a fresh outlook, okay? If you start something new, a new side hustle, if you're starting a new chapter in love, you also need to allow the Whale Spirit to be a big part of it. I see that trusting in the mystery, trusting in the unknown is something that will allow you to actually embrace everything that you're capable of. Because when you're too fearful of just trusting the things that you're not sure of, that is when you cause major blockages, not only in your chakras, but also in your creativity. It'll be hard for you to be creative. It'll be hard for you to come up with anything new because you're just so stifled by the fear of the unknown and the fear of the things that you're not used to. Then in the Panther Spirit, you have to take back your power. Okay, we have 44. 4 is a very sort of grounded, solidified number. We have 4 elements, 4 seasons. It is kind of complete in a very magical way. And in the Panther Spirit, I want you to get grounded again. As I already mentioned in the tiger eye, you have to get yourself to a point where you feel whole again, where you feel grounded, where you feel like your feet are firmly on the floor, where you have your power. You're not allowing fear to stifle you. You're not allowing the fact that you've never started a side hustle or you've never been in a serious relationship. You're not going to let fears of new things hurt you, stifle you, or sort of dim your success, if you will. That is one of the things that I see you needing to overcome next week, and it may not be easy, group number 3. Then in the armadillo spirit, I see that you have to set healthy boundaries. So I feel like there may be people in your life who are, I don't really want to hurt your feelings, group number 3, but I need to be honest with you. So there may be people in your life who you have to set boundaries with, and you may not like it because those people may be people very close to you. It may be family, it may be a close friend that you know loves you, but at the same time, sometimes they show love in a way that is stifling your success and that is stifling your self-confidence, and they may be scared for you. They may be afraid for you in love, they may be afraid for you at your work, whatever it is that you do, that they're putting doubts in your mind, that they're asking you, do you really think this is gonna work? Is this really the safest thing we can do? And I want you to sort of distance yourself from that kind of energy, because that is just not the kind of energy that you need right now. You need a beginner mind. You need to just trust in the things that you don't know, trust in the things that are not promised, and you have to take back your power. You have to take back your confidence and the fact that you can just allow things to happen, and you don't need to already know basically everything is going to work out. You know that if you work hard, things are going to work out, and that is the kind of mindset that you truly need, group number 3. Then we have the sweeping sister willow. So in the sweeping sister willow, I want you to know that if help is needed from somebody else, not this person that you have to set boundaries with, then seek somebody else. Seek somebody who you feel could maybe give you better insight or just understand where you're coming from more, and seek somebody who can see that you're passionate and to who passion is the most important thing. Because there are people who want security, and there are people who believe that security will come as long as the passion, dedication, and just ambition is there. And sometimes you need to go to a different kind of person for sort of like the gassing up that you need, for the confidence boost, etc. So then we have the ivory swan goddess. I want you to take a little bit of time to be just patient with yourself. I want you to take time to rest and also to journal. So if you're watching this video late at night or during the day and you feel exhausted and tired, really give yourself that time to rest. Really give yourself that time to just lay flat on your back and just think. Just allow your mind to wander, maybe meditate, but most importantly, don't see yourself as a victim. That is one thing that I feel like certain situations may trigger in you, and sometimes you may not even notice it, that certain situations make you feel like, oh, you know, like I'm the victim. I'm always the one who's unlucky. I'm always the one who is struggling, and I don't want you to fall into that mindset, because what happens in here transpires out here. That is what I want you to keep in mind. So do you really want to waste time on thoughts that are not positive about yourself? Ask yourself that question. Then we have strength. So group number 3, strength, will be asked of you next week. I see that you have to allow your strength to be what you lead with. You have to allow yourself to know that there is also light at the end of the tunnel. It's not always going to be such a tough week. It's not always going to be so difficult for you to get through the week emotionally. So this may be a week where you feel exhausted really easily, and that's why the ivory swan goddess has showed up. Don't be hard on yourself. If you need extra rest, everybody's body is different. Everyone functions at a different rate. And if you are just functioning a little slower or a little bit more lethargic next week, don't beat yourself up about it. We all have weeks like that. So then last but not least, we have flow. So one thing that I see is that there is an easier way that you can potentially uncover next week. I see that you have to sort of release any expectation, as I said in the whale spirit. Trusting in the mystery is one thing, but at the same time, not expecting a certain outcome is another thing. With expectation, there can be disappointment. So if you expect a very specific outcome out of love, your career, maybe other relationships, or just something, adventure in your life, then you could be disappointed if that is not the exact outcome that you get. And sometimes that can stop us from seeing that another outcome is maybe so much more valuable. So if there is a specific outcome that you're looking for in your personal life and it doesn't work out, don't be disappointed. Oftentimes, things like that happen for the better. Things like that happen for somebody or something better to come into our life shortly thereafter. So be patient with that and know that decisions are being made constantly by the universe, and those decisions are for your highest good. So focus on what is happening right now. Do not focus so much on your desired outcome. Focus on taking the path forward that feels the most natural to you and that feels the easiest to you. So group number 3, that is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. If you did, let me know down in the comment section. And if this is the first time that you're on my channel, make sure to subscribe to catch your future weekly readings. And I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Diapside. So group number 4, if you need some sort of toxic energy, some sort of energy that is keeping you from being the best you, flush out of your life, that is why you may have chosen this stone. But let us move into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on with you in next week. So we have the Wolf Spirit. So one thing that I see in the Wolf Spirit is turning knowledge into wisdom. So turning knowledge into wisdom can be a painful process because sometimes you have to acquire knowledge through making mistakes. Those mistakes can be painful, but remember that wisdom is crystallized pain. Wisdom is where you've done something many times, burnt yourself many times, and now you're wiser, you know better, you can kind of foresee what is going to happen. So there are pluses and minuses to that, obviously. In the Groundhog Spirit, I see that it's time to let go. This leads me to feel like maybe next week you have to let go of a certain area of a relationship or an entire relationship. So letting go can be painful. As you can see, the groundhog is just trying to soothe its heart, and that may be something that you need to take care of next week as well. So in wisdom being sort of like crystallized pain, I want you to keep in mind that sometimes letting go just makes you wiser. It just makes you more aware of the kind of person that you are and the kind of behavior that you're willing to accept and have around you within your life. So I want you to be very picky. I want you to be very clear of the kind of people that you want around you, as next week somebody is going to reveal a side of themselves that you maybe have never seen in that way and that irritates you, that you know you maybe do not necessarily want to deal with. But it could also be a side of you resurfacing that you have to sort of put back to where it came from, which is not here. So if it's a very competitive streak in you, if it's a streak in you that is very self-conscious, that is something that I want you to deal with and to sort of remove out of your current situation. Then in the Dragonfly Spirit, as I mentioned, there's maybe a situation with another person, and truth always transcends illusion. That is one thing that I want you to keep in mind with the Dragonfly Spirit. There is a reason why you tuned into this reading, and there's a reason why the Dragonfly Spirit showed up. If there's something where you feel like somebody is lying to you, know that the truth will reveal itself. Know that illusions only last for so long until they crumble and just turn into truth. So allow time for that to reveal itself, as I see that it will probably come with an answer that you have already suspected. Then in the Maiden Megillah, I want you to allow things to happen in their own time, and I also want you to sort of be giving in the meantime. So if you're unsure about another human being, if you're unsure about a situation, don't distance yourself, but just try and remain as usual, because if you don't have all the answers yet, you cannot really make up your mind as to whether you want to stay away from a person or not. So just try and remain normal, try and be maybe even a little bit more giving until you figure out what you truly want to do. Because whenever you're good to somebody, whenever you're giving, when you're being generous with your spirit and your heart, if things don't work out, at least you know for yourself that you have accumulated good karma, that you were not trying to sort of be malicious or nasty in any way. You were literally just trying your best to be a good person and to allow people to have chances. And chances is maybe something that has caused you hurt in the past. And you being the kind of person that you are, giving chances is something that says a lot about your character. And that is a trait that I don't want you to lose. I don't want the world to harden you. I don't want you to let the world change you. You are the one that I want to be changing the world for the better. So let's move further into reading. In the Fox Spirit, I see that there are some decisions that are going to need you to act quickly upon them. So be prepared for that. Allow yourself to be a little spontaneous if that's something that you're usually not comfortable with. This is a situation that may push you outside of your comfort zone, which is good, because if your comfort zone is, say, this big and you remain within it, you will never see all the amazing things around your comfort zone. You will never see all that is going on around you and all that you can achieve and see. So get out of your comfort zone next week, even if it feels like you're being pushed to. Then we have the Orchid Priestess of Destiny. I want you to know that you can rewrite your destiny. Your destiny is not something that's written in stone. It's not something that you cannot change. So just because you come from a certain background, or you feel like you're a certain kind of person who has experienced some bad things or difficult things, that doesn't mean that your life needs to continue going that way. I want you to keep in mind that the fact that you're willing to give chances, the fact that you're somebody who likes to learn from others, that is what I see in the Wolf Spirit, that you like to cooperate and work together, says a lot about you and your future. That is a trait that will allow you to transcend to many different places in life, as long as you leave your ego behind. Your ego may be something that is in your way sometimes. Your ego or your pride may be something that can make you feel a bit vulnerable if you don't have it protecting you. But put that layer down, because it's not serving you at this point in time. Then in freedom, I see that you have to live a little bit more freely. So you know that song, Young, Wild and Free? That is one thing that I see that you need to be doing. I see that you have to be more independent. You have to not allow your happiness to rely on other people. You have to make sure that you always choose to be free in your decision to have fun. Don't tie your fun, your happiness to other people, because when you do that, then you're bound to be unhappy, because you cannot control other people's actions and the way other people behave. So if they do not want to give you happiness, or they're having a bad day and you've made your happiness somehow depend on them, then obviously that will have a bad outcome for you. The same goes for making plans. That is one thing that I want you to know in freedom. Don't make plans with people where if they don't keep up their end of the stick, so to say, your whole day will be ruined. So you know when you make plans with somebody and you plan your whole day around it, and they cancel last minute or they change something last minute, and all of a sudden you're not feeling as excited about it anymore. Your whole day has kind of been ruined, and you did all this hard work beforehand or change your entire schedule around for nothing. So don't put yourself in that vulnerable position. Try and always schedule things in a way where if it doesn't work out, it doesn't affect you greatly. You get what I'm saying? So that is one thing that I've learned to do, especially when you're unsure if somebody is more flaky, if you're unsure if somebody may have, you know, last minute emergency come up, depending on where that person is in life. All I'm saying is don't allow your happiness and your freedom to just live your best life. Don't allow that to depend on somebody else, because somebody else may not even think as far as to, wow, I shouldn't have made him or her unhappy. Wow, like this may have really affected their day. Most people don't think that far, so protect yourself when it comes to that. Last but not least, in prosperity, there is a gift of money on its way. Your income is increasing. You have to manage your finances with love. So group number 4, I want you to know that managing your finances with love is what will allow you to properly make sure that you make the most out of your money. So try and make your money make money for you if you have money saved, because that is how you can make sure that you have stability. You know, a job is not always stability or security, because you can be fired from a job. But if you have multiple streams of revenue, if you allow your money to sort of make money for you, if you allow yourself to build a safety net, that is when you know that you truly have the most security that is humanly possible. Of course, nothing is 100% safe and secure, but you can try and make yourself financially as secure as possible by thinking on your feet. One book that I really recommend, you can also get it as an audiobook, is the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I will link the audiobook down below. I think they have it on YouTube for free. So listen to that and just allow your mind to be completely blown when it comes to your personal finances. So group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. If you did, let me know down in the comment section, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings.